Hey guys, I'm Ben,
I'm Colin.
and this is Blackjack and we're going to talk to you about a really important issue in regards to counting cards, and that is how to practice. Okay, so this is the story that we hear every single time, is you want to learn how to count cards because you saw some movie, whether it's Rain Man or 21, or maybe it's the documentary about our Blackjack team that you saw. That's a secret. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to hop on some website and read a book that's like a paragraph long, and then I'm going to go to the casino. And what happens then?
You lose money.
And people come to us and they wonder why. They're like, hey, I watched the video, and I read the paragraph, so how come I can't make tons of money? So the huge gap that they're missing is card counting is actually not an easy thing to do. It is, I think, pretty simple. Like, we can explain it in an hour, but it actually takes a lot of practice. So in asking the question, how are you going to be a successful blackjack player, you have to overcome that issue, is how are you going to learn to practice so that you can get to a point where you can beat the game. How many hours of practice do you think it takes for a typical blackjack player?
To be really good, at least a couple hundred, I would say. Maybe 100.
So that's probably not the answer you're looking for. Like, there's other sites and other books that are like saying like you can make money quick. I agree with what Colin's saying. Like, it's, you know, whether it's 100 or 200, it's a lot. So almost every person in our experience overqualifies themselves. So they go to a casino. If we watch them and test them out, they are actually not, in fact, beating the game. So we've seen that again and again and again. In fact, out of probably training 200 plus players, I would say maybe 1 or 2 or 3 came to us and exceeded our expectations. The other 197 were in fact not, and they thought they were.
But think about any other job. You know, you're not gonna get an hour's worth of training and be proficient at it. You know, you're gonna get a week, maybe 2 weeks, and even then, it's gonna be a month or so before you're really awesome at your job. It's the same with this. So a few tips that I would give. One, don't spend money until you need to. We've got resources, charts. You can memorize the chart, recite it while you're driving, recite it to friends, recite it backwards.
And there's 2 reasons for that. One is because it costs money when you're in a casino. You should actually be losing money. Even if you win, in your mind, EV-wise, you should be losing money, and you probably will in the long run. The second is, it's just like super distracting. Everyone that comes to us that's like, oh, I'm practicing blackjack, I won $30. They care way more about the $30 than they are they're beating the game. So it's actually the biggest detriment to them making money at the casino in the long run.
Yeah. There's also basic strategy simulators. We've got an iPhone app, iPad app, and if you could play that perfectly for 20 hours, you know, maybe it's time to consider playing an hour and losing a little bit of money in a casino, getting your feet wet. But you know what? There's also ways to practice back counting, both at home for free.
And I know you guys are probably saying, like, 20 hours, that's like absolutely ridiculous. I don't want to sit in front of an iPhone for 20 hours or 100 hours. But keep in mind, guys, that's 2.5 weeks of a full-time job. So if you really do want to take this seriously and make money at it, which we know people that have made hundreds of thousands of dollars at this, 2.5 weeks to dedicate to training, while it does take a little bit of discipline and, like, you know, you're self-employed, so you have to do it yourself, get up in the morning, and you're not going to have a boss who went, whoosh. But it's really not that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things for a venture that's going to make money, just like any other business.
Totally. And to practice counting, you don't even have to play at a casino. You can stand behind the table, practice counting. There's all sorts of ways to practice your true count conversion, both for betting and deviations, you know. There's a lot of things you can do away from the table. When you get to the table, don't expect to make money right away. You're still learning. You're still training. You're training on the job. It took, you know, weeks of training on the job for any job I've had to be really, really efficient at it. And, you know, just have that built in to the learning curve. Also find people to train with, yeah.
We have a bunch of other tips and videos where we walk through our training process. I would just say this. The training process builds the framework and the foundation for the entire way that you will play blackjack. So don't skip it. Don't go past it quickly. Take it very, very seriously. Think through what you're training for, how long you want to train. Take it as seriously as you plan on taking any other job. And I think that will directly impact the success that you will have or won't have beating the casino. And the last thing we want to do is send people out to the casinos or build a website that encourages people to just give more money to casinos and not think smart about it. So anyways, check out blackjackapprenticeship.com. We have a bunch of other videos and training articles that go through the ways we've seen help people to practice, because it can be long and boring and tedious.
Yeah, there's an entire forum for people to talk about how their training and progress is coming along, all that stuff. So check it out, blackjackapprenticeship.com.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention, we do have a training kit that you can buy online, which costs, I don't know, it's maybe about $50. But if you don't have any other way set to train, I know I'm making this sound weird, but if you don't have any way to train already, check it out, because we have like a felt and everything that you will need to train at home and make your house look like a casino, and it's way cheaper than going to a casino and spending money there.